In the bustling town of Eldermere, where merchants filled the streets with shouts of trade and minstrels played lively tunes in the square, there lived a painter named Laurent. Unlike the town's boisterous artisans, Laurent was a recluse, dwelling in a modest workshop at the very edge of the city. His talent was unmatched, his portraits so lifelike that they seemed to breathe. Nobles and merchants alike sought his hand, paying exorbitant sums for a piece of his artistry. Yet, beneath his growing fame, whispers circulated through the town. People spoke of a strange pattern. Those who commissioned Laurent's paintings, lords, merchants, even the mayor's daughter, vanished shortly after their portraits were completed. Some believed they had fled their lives in pursuit of adventure, while others suspected foul play. But as the disappearances continued, fear took root, and soon Laurent found himself with fewer and fewer patrons. Then came Lord Dorian, the youngest son of a noble house, who had recently inherited his family's estate. Unlike others, he was fascinated by the mystery. Where others feared Laurent's work, Dorian sought it. He desired a portrait, a masterpiece to cement his legacy, and he cared little for the rumors that swirled around the painter. Laurent was hesitant at first, but could not refuse the nobleman's generous offer. Over the next week, Dorian sat for his portrait. The artist worked with an intensity that unsettled him, his brush gliding across the canvas with unnatural precision. Each stroke seemed to pull something from Dorian, not just his likeness, but something deeper, something unseen. As the painting neared completion, Dorian began to feel strange. He grew tired more easily, his mind clouded, his limbs heavy as if the very essence of his being was draining away. The night before the final sitting, he awoke in a cold sweat, an inexplicable dread clutching his heart. Determined to uncover the truth, he returned to Laurent's workshop under the cover of night. What he found froze him in place. The room was lined with portraits. His was among them, nearly finished. But the others, their subjects stared out, their eyes wide with silent screams, their mouths parted as if caught in an eternal plea for help. The paint on their faces seemed to shift and ripple, like something trapped beneath the surface, trying to escape. Dorian turned to find Laurent standing behind him, a look of sorrow upon his face. "You should not have come here," the painter murmured. "What have you done?" Dorian demanded, stepping back. Laurent sighed and turned to the painting. "It is not by my will. The brush, the colors, they hunger. Every stroke captures more than just an image. It takes something from within. A soul, a spirit, I do not know. Once the painting is finished, the subject is gone." Horrified, Dorian realized the truth. The vanished patrons had not left of their own accord. They had been consumed, imprisoned within Laurent's canvases. He had to act quickly. If Laurent was telling the truth, he only had until the painting was finished. He seized a nearby dagger and lunged at the cursed artwork, slashing across the canvas. A ghastly wail filled the air as the portrait seemed to split apart, a shadowy mist rising from within. The unfinished painting of Dorian crumbled to the floor, and he staggered back, feeling the weight that had burdened him suddenly lift. The other paintings rattled on the walls, the trapped souls stirring within. Desperate to free them, Dorian tore through them, one by one, each release filling the air with spectral cries. As he reached the final piece, Laurent grabbed his hand. "You mustn't," the painter pleaded. "If you break them all, I do not know what will happen." But Dorian was beyond listening. He ripped through the last painting, and the workshop erupted in a whirlwind of light and shadow. Figures materialized, spectral and dazed, their long-imprisoned souls finally freed. Laurent fell to his knees, his hands trembling. "It is over," he whispered, as though speaking to himself. "The curse is broken." But Dorian knew better. The curse had only been contained within the paintings. Now, it had been released into the world once more. And somewhere, in some darkened corner of the town, another artist's hand would one day take up a brush, unknowingly bringing the nightmare to life again.